The containment field flickered once, twice, then died with a pathetic whimper that echoed through the Galactic Academy's xenobiology lab. Jessica Martinez barely had time to look up from her datapad before the massive creature, a Voronak from the death world of Krellis Prime, burst through the failing energy barrier with a roar that shook the reinforced walls. Around her, students from a dozen different species screamed and scattered. The insectoid Chithrax clicked their mandibles in terror. The gaseous nebulons dispersed into their emergency containment suits. Even Professor Zelthar, a battle-hardened Kronak warrior who had survived 3 interstellar wars, stumbled backward with his 4 eyes wide in primal fear. Jessica stood frozen, not from courage but from pure shock. The Voronak was magnificent and terrifying. 4 meters of corded muscle, obsidian scales, and crystalline spikes that ran along its spine. Its eyes glowed like molten copper as it surveyed the chaos it had created. Every instinct in the human girl's body screamed at her to run, but her legs refused to cooperate. The creature's head swung toward her, and their eyes met. Time seemed to slow. Jessica could see the intelligence behind those alien eyes, the rage, yes, but also something else. Desperation. The Voronak had been captured from its homeworld as a juvenile, 3 standard years ago. She had read its file just yesterday for her comparative xenobiology assignment. It had never seen its native skies since. "Easy," Jessica whispered, surprising herself. Her voice was steady despite her hammering heart. "Easy there, big guy." The Voronak tilted its massive head, processing the strange sounds from this tiny bipedal creature who hadn't fled like the others. Around them, emergency alarms wailed, and Jessica could hear the thunder of security boots in the corridor. "They're coming to hurt you," she said softly, taking one careful step forward. Behind her, she heard Professor Zelthar hiss in horror. "But you're just scared, aren't you? Just want to go home?" The creature's growl diminished to a rumble. It lowered its head slightly, bringing its massive skull closer to her level. Jessica could feel the heat radiating from its body, could smell the sharp mineral scent of its scales. One swipe of those claws could tear her in half. One bite could swallow her whole. She reached out slowly, her hand trembling, and placed it on the Voronak's snout. The beast froze. "I'm sorry they took you," Jessica murmured. "I'm sorry you're here." The laboratory doors exploded inward. A squad of enforcement officers poured through, weapons charged and aimed. The lead officer, a massive Urgoth with 4 arms and combat armor, bellowed commands in 3 languages simultaneously. The Voronak's reaction was instantaneous. It spun, placing its bulk between Jessica and the armed soldiers, and released a roar that made the previous one sound like a whisper. The windows cracked. The floor vibrated. 2 officers actually dropped their weapons in instinctive terror, but it didn't attack. It stood there, protective, defiant, a living shield. "Hold fire," Jessica shouted, pressing herself against the creature's scaled side. "Don't shoot! Step away from the specimen, human," the Urgoth commander ordered. "His name is Krath," Jessica called back, remembering the designation from the file. "And he's not trying to hurt anyone. Look at him, he's protecting me." "That thing is a Class 5 predator from a death world. It's protecting nothing. It's using you as a hostage." Jessica felt Krath's muscles tense beneath her palm. She could sense his confusion, his fear mixing with aggression. The soldiers were closing in, forming a perimeter. Tranquilizer rounds were being loaded. In moments they would fire, and Krath would either be sedated or killed if he resisted. "Wait," Jessica said, her mind racing through everything she had learned in her xenobiology courses. "Humans are from Earth, a death world. Class 4 danger rating. Our world has megafauna predators, extreme weather, and we're persistence hunters. We're not that different from Krellis Prime." Professor Zelthar's voice came from somewhere behind the security line. "Miss Martinez, what are you suggesting?" "Voronaks are pack-bonded," Jessica said, her voice growing stronger. "I read it in the research notes. They protect their family groups. Krath doesn't see me as prey. He sees me as pack. As family." The commander's weapon didn't waver. "Impossible. No Voronak has ever bonded with another species." "No other species tried," Jessica shot back. "Everyone's too afraid. But humans, we've been bonding with predators since we were in caves. We made friends with wolves when they could have eaten us. We're crazy enough to try." She turned to face Krath again, looking up into those molten copper eyes. You feel it too, don't you? Something familiar. Something that reminds you of home. The creature made a sound, not a roar, but something softer, almost questioning. Its massive head lowered again, pressing gently against Jessica's shoulder. The gesture was unmistakable. Trust. The laboratory fell silent except for the wailing alarms. Even the hardened security officers seemed uncertain. Max Chen, Jessica's lab partner and best friend, suddenly pushed through the security line. The officers tried to stop him, but he ducked under their arms with practiced ease. Benefits of being the Academy's Zero-G handball champion. Jess is right, Max announced, skidding to a stop a few meters away. I've been helping her with the research. Foreign acts respond to emotional resonance and fearless behavior. They respect strength but not aggression. Humans do that naturally. He slowly approached, hands visible and empty. Krath watched him but didn't growl. Jessica felt the creature's muscles relax slightly as Max came to stand beside her. See? Max said to the officers. We're packed now. The Urgoth commander slowly lowered his weapon. This is insane. You're all insane. Yeah, Jessica agreed with a tired smile, leaning against Krath's warm scales. But humans usually are. That's kind of our thing. Professor Zelthar stepped forward, his usual composure returning. Stand down, all units. I believe we may have just witnessed an unprecedented xenobiological breakthrough. He looked at Jessica and Max with something approaching respect. Though this will require extensive documentation and safety protocols. Jessica felt Krath's heartbeat through his scales. Strong, steady, calm now. She had come to the Academy to learn about alien life. She never expected to become family with one. Welcome to the pack, big guy, she whispered. Krath rumbled contentedly, finally at peace for the first time in 3 years. He had found his tribe among the stars, and they were just as fierce as any from his homeworld. The humans had come to the galaxy and done what they always did, made friends with the monsters everyone else feared. Because that was humanity's true superpower, the ability to find kinship in the most unlikely places, to extend compassion to the feared and forgotten. And sometimes, that made all the difference.